Hi, I'm Veronica and welcome to Jersey City Pilates. This class is 30 minutes and all you need is yourself and a mat. If you do have sensitive knees, we will be kneeling a bit, so you can either fold your mat over or just grab a towel that you can pop underneath your knee to give it a little bit more cushion. This class we're going to focus a bit on movement through the hips and glute strength, and hopefully you're feeling great afterwards. And so to get started, you're just going to come into a tall kneeling position and then take your left knee out in front of your right. So generally speaking, you're in a 90-90 position. And then from here, just bring your hands onto your hips or make little fists on your low back, whichever is more comfortable. And you're gonna think about lifting your chest up towards the ceiling as you send your hips forward into a bit of a back bend. And then round your spine, send your hips back towards your heels, flex the foot and get a nice hamstring stretch. And then come into that arch and hip flexor stretch. So basically we're doing a cat-cow here, just with a little different motion through the legs. And then again, round your spine forward, lift those toes up. You can have your hands on the ground or keep them on your hips or alternate between the two. We're gonna do 3 more. And round. 2. Last one. And round your spine here, coming into that 90-90. You're gonna tuck your back toes under, hands on your hips or out in front of you, your choice, and then press up into a modified lunge so both of your legs are straight, and then bend both to that 90-degree angle, and then straighten your legs up. And then bend both down and lift them. And back down, holding on to something for support if you need. Straight down, keeping a little tuck through that tailbone so your hip stays open on the right. For 3, 2, and last one. Pause with the legs straight. Reach long through that back heel, and then from the crown of your head, you're gonna hinge at your hips, giving a bit of a stretch through that standing, stabilizing leg on the left, and then again, hinge at your hips. Think nice long line, and back up. 5 more. 3. Don't worry about going low. Think more about saying in that long line. 2. Last one. And then come all the way up. From here, you're gonna come into that 90-90 lunge. Lift up and then hinge forward. And then straight down towards the floor, back up, hinge at the hips. Breathing as you go. Inhale on the hinge. And then exhale as you come back up. Again, holding on to something for a little bit of extra support if you need. 3 more. Spread through those toes. 2. Last one. And then come to the center. So both legs are externally rotated. Hands on your hips, and you're just gonna squat down and up and down and up. 6, think about drawing your heels together as you come up, like you're gonna slide them in, really engaging through the whole inner side of the leg. For 3, 2, last one, stay down. Make sure your knees are pointing right over your toes and bring your hands behind your head. You're gonna lengthen through that left side as you side bend over to the right, coming up tall and over to the left, and then to the center and lift up tall. Squatting down, keep that connection between the heels, slight tuck under in the tailbone as you side bend, and up and down. Over to the left and up. 4 more. And really breathing into your ribs here to help get that nice stretch through the side. 2 more. Head is gently pressing back into the hands. And up, last one. And left. Center, and up. Twist over to the other side, and then lower that knee all the way down and uncurl the toe. Hands up in the low back. Send your hips forward. Get a nice stretch in this arch position, and send your hips back around your spine. Adjust your legs as you need. Wider legs will give you, wider laterally will give you a bigger base of support. Really spreading through the front toes. So peel them back down to the ground as you come up to find your extension, and round your back to come down. And back. 4 more. 3. 2. And last one. Come forward. Tuck those left toes underneath, and then you're just going to stand up into your split stance squat, and then coming down and back up. Again, adjust your knees or your distance between your feet as you need. Feel the pull together underneath you from one foot towards the other in the center of the mat. A little tuck of the tailbone. And if you find that you're wobbling, bring your legs wider right to left. There we go. You don't want to be standing on a balance beam for no reason. 3 more. 2. And last one. Pause at the top. Hinge at the hips. Really send your hips backwards as you send your torso forward. Oh, nope. Not there yet. Just staying with that hinge. And up. Inhale as you go down. Exhale as you stand. Or whichever way breath works for you. Just make sure that before you move, you are breathing. Two more, and then we're going to combine them. And last one. And up. Now we're going to do that little 90-90 lunge, or whatever this is called. Lunge, yeah. And up. Down. And then keep that length straight from the heel all the way to where the wall meets the ceiling in front of you. It's where you're reaching towards with your head. Four more. Shoulders are nice and relaxed. 2. Last one. And then open that left foot out to the side, and then coming back down into your squat for 8. 6. Again, feel those heels slide towards one another. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. Last one. This time you're going to stay down. Hands behind the head, press the head into the hands, over to the right. And just staying on that right side for 8. Breathing here. Noticing up if you're feeling like you're getting a little bit more of a side bend here. 3. 2. And last one. Center, stand up, and then back down. Make sure your knees haven't started to sickle in. You're standing through your whole foot. 5 more. 3, energize those heels towards one another. 2 more. and last one. Center, stand all the way up, lift your toes, lift your arms, and then just round forward. Knees can be nice and soft. Walk your feet in a tiny bit, and then sit down into a squat, having your hands planted on the floor. If you have a yoga block and you'd like to sit on it instead of being in this squat, by all means, go for it. Reaching with those left fingers away, you're gonna reach your right arm up to diagonal, fingertip to fingertip as you open your chest. Come back down, open to the left, down. 2 more to each side, opening to the right. And last one to each side. To the left. Good. And then stay in your little squat here. Bring your feet together. If you can have your heels all the way down to the ground, that's great. And then just give yourself a little hug with your butt just hovering off the ground here. I know it's hard to see in all black with the black mat. And just round forward for a second. If you want to bring your hands in front of you, hold on to something to help you be here, by all means, do that. And then you're just going to relax. Take a nice big inhale, really trying to focus on opening up through those back ribs. Let your head be heavy. And exhale, release. And inhale, breathing into your back. And release. One more time, inhale. Exhale, release. And then you're gonna sit your butt on the floor and you're gonna have your feet in by your body. So now you're in the same little ball position, breathing into your back. Take a big inhale, arms are wrapped around your legs. Exhale, float the feet off the ground. From here, externally rotate, bring the heels towards one another. Knees are slightly wide, so about shoulder width. You have a tiny V in front of you. You're gonna take a big inhale. And on your exhale, you're just gonna think about rounding your low back so much that you round back to the shoulder blades and then you pop back up. And then inhale. As you round back, exhale. Use the exhale to help bring you back up. You're staying looking at your abdominals, sort of your core area here in between your legs. Make sure you're not looking back behind you or up at the ceiling. You want to stay in a nice C curve here. 3 more. Heels stay close to your butt. See, I didn't exhale. Or focus on my exhale and I almost didn't get back up. So inhale back. Exhale to stay. Grab behind your thighs and roll yourself all the way back, giving yourself another little hug, but this time on your back. And then glue your legs together and come onto, what side? Your right side, sure. Knees are in line with your hips. You're in a nice 90-degree angle here at the knees and also at the hips. Can be at the ankles too if you'd like, or you can relax your legs a little. Bring both hands behind your head and your elbow or your shoulders are stacked one on top of the other. And then just make sure that your hip hasn't slid back. You want to slide it forward so that your knees are staying even here. That'll sort of be your guide as to your range of motion. So your knees are going to stay stacked. You're going to take your left elbow, reach it up towards the ceiling, let your head drop into your hands, and rotate open. Now I can go further and my left knee will slide away from my right. But my range of motion is not great. I want to keep my knees stacked and really just focusing on that upper back rotation. And then come back to that stacked shoulder position. Exhale, rotate open. And even just after doing 1 or 2 of these, you'll notice your range of motion changes. It gets a little bit bigger. If it doesn't, that's okay. Information for next time. And back. 2 more. And last one. And back to the front. And then from here, you're just going to separate your legs so that your left, your left knee more or less is by your ankle. And then you're going to roll back onto your side. If you want, you can hook or you're rolling over onto your back. Sorry, you can hook your right foot on top of your left if you would like. Make sure both shoulder blades are on the mat. For me, that means my knees are just over to the same direction. And then you're gonna not side bend. You're gonna lift your head, neck, and shoulders off the ground. Gaze is at your top hip, and then slowly lower all the way back down. Slide both of those ribs straight forward in your ab curl, and then back down and up. 5 more. Trying to get both shoulder blades off the floor. 4, 3, 2, and last one, lift, and then lower all the way back down. Bring your legs up towards the ceiling, and then bring your feet nice and wide, and you're just gonna windshield wiper from the right to the left. Do this on a bit of an angle with the wall in the way. Head over to the right and to the left. And just notice your shoulders want to pick up off the mat, or if they're just staying nice and heavy. Once more to the right. Excuse me. And to the left. And then come back to the center. From here, you're going to roll over onto your stomach. And you're going to have your hands underneath your shoulders, tip of your nose resting down towards the floor. And you're just going to gently push into your arms as you lift your head, neck, and shoulders up, pressing your forearms and hands into the ground like you're going to pull yourself through, and then slowly release all the way down. Legs stay heavy and relaxed. Press into your arms as though you're sliding them back towards your hips to pull your torso through, and then lower all the way back down. 4 more. Pull and press. Taking your abdominals with you. So you're not pressing them into the ground, you're not lifting the hips, you're not lifting the legs. You're just trying to think about sending your torso forward. 2 more. Gaze is just following down your nose. Last one. And lower all the way down. Make a little pillow for your hands. For your head rather, with your hands, so one stacked on top of the other. Bring your feet a little bit more to hip distance. And then from here, you're going to reach long out of your right toes, bend at the knee, give your hamstring a little squeeze, lengthen through the front of the thigh, and then lengthen that leg all the way long. So think about the kneecap reaching back behind you so far, that leg bends, and then extend. 4 more. 3, 2, and last one. Keep it bent, and then keeping both elbows and your torso relaxed as much as you can. You're going to rotate that heel to reach back behind you. Your right hip will lift. Square your hips back down and let that leg settle onto the floor. You can keep it bent, or you can bend and straighten, and then lift the hip, lift the knee as you rotate. And then bring it back. Lift and rotate. And bring it back down. Thinking about that lift coming from the thigh, from the knee as you rotate, reaching it back behind you. Last one. Lift and reach. Relax your shoulders, bring it all the way back. And then press your hands into the floor and come to sit into a child's pose before we change sides. Relax, give those hips a little shake from one side to the other. And then come all the way up and onto the other side. So you're gonna stack your shoulders, hands behind your head, knees are at a 90-degree angle. And then you're just going to open up, keeping both knees in line with one another as you rotate back forward. And then you're going to open up and back. 6 more. Really take your time here. Keep thinking about reaching long with that left bottom elbow, and then reaching the right elbow in opposition. And use your breath to help let you rotate a little bit more and release through that back. 4 more. And forward. 3. 2. And last one. And then stack everything on top of each other. And then slide your, right leg, top leg back, and then open up through the chest so that your hips are not quite stacked anymore and your shoulders are on the ground. Legs stay nice and quiet. Curl the head, neck, and shoulders off the ground, sliding your ribs towards that right hip specifically, and then lower back down. Little oblique curl here for 6. 5, 4, 3. Keeping your head pressing back into your hands so you're not jutting your neck forward, your chin. 2. Last one, then we're going to go into those windshield wiper. So if you have a wall near you, just scoot yourself away from it. Knees about, or feet rather about wider than hip distance. And then just go from one side to the other. Mat distance is what I was looking for. You can bring your arms into a scarecrow position if that feels good, cactus rather. Straight out to the side, on your body, whatever works. 2 more to each side. Last one, we're gonna go back to that swan. Good, and then roll over onto your stomach. Same thing here, except this time you're gonna reach your arms back by your side. You're gonna externally rotate those arms, float the palms up, and then reach the fingertips back as you draw your chest, lifting through your arms, and then slowly lower all the way back down. So you're keeping the arms lifted as you reach, and then lower down. If you prefer to do, the other version, with your hands still on the ground, go for it. Pelvis is staying pressed into the ground, legs are relaxed. 2 more. Not quite coming all the way down, just that long line. And then really think about reaching your chest forward. 2. And last one. And then lower all the way down, make a pillow for your head with your hands, and then stack the opposite hand on top if you remember which was which. And then bringing your legs to a parallel position, reach back through that right leg, give your hamstring a little squeeze as you reach through the knee, lengthening through the front of the quad, and extend that leg long. And then again, bend it in, give it a little squeeze, and extend. Bend in and extend. 4 more. 3. Pubic bone is heavy. You have a little space in the low back. You're not arching it. Your hips are pressed into the floor, not lifted. Next time you're going to bend that knee in and you're going to pause. Keep reaching so long through the knee that your leg floats up and open. If you realize that you're doing the same leg that you were doing on the other side, switch sides and then reach up and open with that left leg, or the opposite leg. Reach long through the thigh, lift and twist. Hopefully you have switched sides, unlike me. Good. rotate those hips back down. Keep reaching so long through that thigh to lift. And reach through the foot to twist. Elbows stay down. 2 more. Last one. Good, and then lower all the way down. Lengthen that leg long. Press through the hands. And find yourself in a tabletop. A child's pose. And then we're going to come through to tabletop. Good. In your tabletop, you're going to have your knees under your hips. They can be a little wide if you'd like. And then hands, same thing, about shoulder width or a tiny bit wider. Round your spine up through the ceiling. Really press through your hands. Find that length. Drop your head. And then coming through into extension. Send your heels of your hands back toward your knees to really pull your chest forward. And then press through the floor again, shins, feet, hands as you round. And then back through, pulling yourself through. Last one. All the way through. Good, and then find a nice long spine. And you're going to place your left forearm on the ground. You can have your left hand by your right wrist, more or less. And you're going to extend your right leg back behind you and float it up nice and long. Since you have that left hand down, you can go higher than your hip. Just whatever range of motion you pick. You're in a long line. You're not bending through or arching through the back. For 3, 2. Last one, bend at the knee. Rotate the hips open so that your thigh is facing away from you, and then bring the thigh down. Thinking about almost internally rotating it as you lift, open, externally rotate, and bring it back down. So you're doing a nice hip circle here. So you bring it down for 4, open, 3. Really pressing through your forearm and your hands. You're not collapsing towards the floor. 2. And then we're in a reverse. Last one. Bring it down. So open it out to the side. Hips open up to the side. Rotate down and in. Really feeling that femur move through the hip socket. 3, 2. And last one. Good. Bring that leg all the way down. Press back up into all 4s. And then from here, just one cat-cow. Pull the heels of the hands back towards your towards your knees as you arch, and then press everything away as you round. And then bring that right arm now down, right hand, fingertips by your left wrist, and extend that left leg back behind you, and then float it up. Your hip can be slightly open. It doesn't completely need to be facing the floor. If it's open, have a slight turn out through the thigh. For 4, 3. Really pressing the floor away through the upper body, as well as that right leg. Last one, bend at the knee. Open the hip, and then circle it down, around, and up and open. Again, you can add that little bit of internal rotation as well as the external. Rotating the hips for 3, 2. You can go as slow as you want. I wouldn't go much faster than we're going right now. Last one. And at the bottom, reverse. So open your hips to the side, lift the leg, rotate in and down. You're also going to feel that rotation, the pelvis around your stabilizing leg on the right side too. 2. And last one. And all the way down. Come up onto your hands. Send your knees back behind you. Send your hips forward. Find yourself in a nice kneeling plank here. Elbows are soft. Find that length. Bend the elbows back by your side. And then press all the way up. Staying on your knees. Really focus on the controlled slow down and the exhale, pressing that floor away as though your breath is helping your hands press the ground away to propel you back up. Slight tuck in the hips, neck is long. 3 more. 2. And last one. Sit back onto your hips, reach your fingertips long. Head rests. And then come to sit with your legs in 90-90 position. So if you can and you have the mobility, you can keep your hands in front of you. If you do not, bring your hands back behind you, and you're going to lift both knees up and then rotate to face the other way. And then lift through the knees and rotate. You may find that a sitting bone comes off the ground as you do this. You know, ideally we're sitting up totally tall. The farther away the feet are from your body, the easier it is. But if you're like me with pretty limited mobility through the hips, unfortunately, something you need to work on, then you may have that sitting bone, one of them, lifting off the floor. That's okay. 2 more. Good, last one to the right. And then sweep both legs around, sit there in front of you. Cross at the ankles and then press the legs down or pull your hands into your knees as you sit up. Ribs stacked on top of your hip. Neck nice and long. Reach the arms all the way up. Bring the hands behind the head one last time. Grow nice and tall. Side bend over to the right. And then from here, reach that right arm long. Increase that stretch just a little bit. And then open up towards the ceiling a little. And then down towards the floor. Head pressing into the hand as you come back up. And then right hand behind the head. Side bend over to the left. Right sitting bone is heavy. Left arm reaches long. And then open towards the ceiling. And then rotate towards the floor. And open. And then all the way up. Reach both hands towards the ceiling. Externally rotate. Press down, drop the shoulders, creating a little space for your ears. Let your arms find your side as you grow tall. And you are all finished. Thanks.